In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your exterior door handle on your Ford E-350 Super Duty. It's located on the driver's side door. All right, I'm going to use a Phillips head screwdriver and take out this screw on the top. Once you get that out, you can take off this plastic cover. All right, we're going to use a Phillips head screwdriver or drill, and you're going to undo your screws here. So you got a screw under here. There's a screw behind this panel, and then there's a screw at the bottom of the door. So let's start with this one. Take off your flap, use the Phillips head, and we're going to take out the screw. Next, we're going to take this little panel piece out. I'm going to use a small screwdriver or a trim tool and pull that right out. So don't break these off. You got to pull it out this way and then pull it out. Now we're going to get this screw under here, also with a Phillips. All right, so just to make a mental note, when you're putting things back together, this short screw goes here. The other ones are all the same length. All right, on the lower part of the door, to the left, the screw hides. They usually have like a little cover over it, but this one doesn't have it. If you have yours, just flip it off with a flathead. Okay, so that should be all your screws. The only thing left we have to take off is our crank for our roll window. Here we are at a window crank. We're going to separate this handle. It comes apart. So we're going to use a trim tool, and we're going to separate out this top piece of the window crank handle, like that. So I've just twisted my trim tool to pop it off, and then you're going to roll that down. And then inside here is a Torx bit screw, and you're going to use a T20 to loosen that. So you're going to use a T20 screwdriver to take this out. So you can see that I marked it here. I'm going to make it a little brighter to show where it lives when you take it out. Okay, once you take that out, you can just place it down off to the side. Okay, so now we're going to take off the door panel. To do that, we're going to pick up the door panel and then take it out. So you're going to lift it up, and then you're going to take it out. You can just rest that on the bottom. I put a bungee cord to hold my handle out of the way so I can get to these rivets. I'm using a 1/2-inch drill bit. Make sure that you're centered in your rivet, especially if you're going for a big drill bit. You want to establish something in the center first. You can start with a smaller drill bit. There we go. All right, so once you see it coming off in pieces, you can probably get a cold chisel in there and try to get the rest out. All right, now that we got the head off that one, before we punch it out, you're going to do the same on the bottom. All right, so now we can punch out these rivets. Now that we get the heads off. Do the same on the bottom. All right, so now I'm going to undo my bungee cord and take off my bungee, and I'm going to open the door. All right, so we're going to undo this little plastic rod holder by getting a flathead screwdriver in, unbuttoning it, put a little rust penetrant or lubrication on the rod, and then you're just gonna pull that out like this. Okay, so once that rust penetrant gets to your rod, if your rod is rusty like ours, it should slide out like that. Ours got corroded around here, so it wouldn't come out. All right, so now you're gonna feed your rod through and up, making sure it's facing this way. This is gonna clip into the top. All right, so when you're feeding your rod through, make sure you're not going to get hung up on that other rod. Make sure it's above it. And feed it through the same way you took it out. Then feed it through, and then the door handle should sit in there nicely. Using a 1/4 inch rivet, I'm now going to rivet my door handle in. I have a punch on the bottom, and just to hold it in the right place. All right, once you get that one in, you can take your punch out. And now we're going to place our rivet in the bottom. All right, now that we're done with our door handle on the outside, we can attach our rod on the inside. So first we're going to find the rod, which is right here. Fell down a little bit. All right, so you're just going to close down that yellow clip on the rod, make sure it's secure, and then you can go ahead and try your handle. Seems to be working just fine. All right, so make sure your door lock is lined up. And it should find its way into the little hooks. There we go. And let it just sit down. Good. All right, using a Phillips head screwdriver, we're gonna put our screws in. One on the top here. All right, now we could put our screw in this metal bracket. Snug that up. All right, so you're gonna feed your handle through there. Line it up with the 2 holes. Push it in, and give it a good whack. Put the screw in. Again, this is the shortest screw out of all of them, so that's how you know which one goes here. Now you can put your cover on for your screw. Make sure you put your 2 tabs going into those little holes on the side, and then push it in. All right, so here's the one on the bottom corner. Now you can put your plastic cap back on if you have one. All right, so our crayon marking there is going to tell us where to put this. And line it up as good as possible. And we're going to use our Torx bit T20 and tighten it up. After you tighten that up, you can slide your handle back together. Snap it on. Make sure your window goes up and down. Beautiful. So now we're going to put our trim piece back on and slide it in, line up our screw, and tighten it down. Good. Now you're going to make sure everything works and you're good to go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.